teacher, we just QT and I just talking about the distance healing, and we know that in Reiki we are very familiar with performing Reiki in distance. But besides Reiki, there's also other healing modality that can be performed in distance too, like some kind of meditation. Can you share more about that?
Well, there's many forms of doing distant healing. I think one of the things to consider, what is the effectiveness of that? Because each method has different ways of, one, drawing the energy into the body, and two, transferring that energy. For an example, there's even been times in the past where I would say, don't have a distant healing treatment. You're better off having a hands-on treatment. Now, this aspect cannot be forgotten either. Even when it comes to clearing your energy from a land or a house, for an example, what is the effectiveness from a distance compared to actually being there? You can do a lot from a distance, but sometimes you actually need somebody hands-on or at that place to successfully clear the energy. So let me explain a little bit about one of the experiences that I had not so long ago, so we can get a little bit more insight in relation to when a person is connected distantly, of where some of the information can be collected and where on the positive side, but also where's the not so positive side. So the person who is connecting, whoever the therapist is or whatever their background, they have different methods of connecting with the client. But if the person is psychically, if you like to call it that, connecting with the client, what can happen is it's the main connection with that individual's body or energy. Sometimes the information can get very broad, meaning possibly aspects about their past that is no longer in their energy anymore. Meaning, are they actually reading that person's energy today? Or are they reading some information out of the Akashic records of that person's life that happened, at an earlier time than where it is presently? So, because a therapist has both of those abilities to connect with somebody right now, as well as going into the Akashic records and sharing information that may not be actually true today. So a good way to eliminate being not directly connected with somebody when doing a therapy, it's good to use a surrogate, another item. Now, another item would be used not only with Reiki, but it would also be used in Bowen therapy and possibly kinesiology, in other methods that are doing diagnostic on somebody from a distance.
So regarding Siam Reiki, how can Siam Reiki in Siam Reiki a distant healing can help influence the status of the client regarding their physical body, emotional, mental, and spiritual body?
Still, it's the same principle. Though with Siam Reiki, we do work with surrogates, another item, and having a good connection with the client itself. And then the energy transfer itself, working with a surrogate is very, a lot more clearer about the locations that the person has congested energy. I understand people like to hear stories, but in the end, the distant healing treatment is in relation to the physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual bodies, and needs to be still on a very grounded viewpoint, meaning a person does have a body. Functions of the physical body is very important. So the Reiki energy does go into the physical body, the mental body. We can discover a lot with the mental body, emotional body, sure, and also the spiritual body. So how effective are these methods? There's a lot of feedback from people who have had distant healing treatments, and they are happy to receive that energetic support in their life to get them through that particular issue that they're dealing with, or health issue that they're dealing with. In saying that, in some cases, I would say to people when they're in a really hard state, or a situation is exceptionally difficult to deal with at distant healing, I will ask people to have a hands-on Reiki treatment. But the percentage of times that would be maybe 2%.